Checking in live, man. RespectMyRegion.com here on another episode of the RMR Podcast. Today, you guys, we are 112 official episodes deep, and I have a very special guest, man. I've got the CEO, the founder of the Ohio Cannabis Health and Business Summit, a cannabis trade show that just happened in Cleveland, Ohio. And before we get into everything with you today, Lenny, which thank you for joining me on the show today, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
I got to shout out our sponsors, right? Because just like your trade show, it's the vendors, it's the exhibitors, it's the sponsors and the community that shows up and supports these events for us to make this platform happen, right? And so big shout out to Seedless Media, our sponsor. They're a full service marketing agency. If anybody needs them, these are the people we recommend for your SEO, your Google AdWords, SMS, all that stuff. Now, let's get down to business, Lenny, man. I just saw you, bro, last week. And it was lit, bro. What a great show, man. Congratulations for a successful show. How do you feel about it in all reality? Like, we're our toughest critics, right? How do you feel about it, having, done this for a few years now?
I will honestly say I thought we would have had a bigger attendance on Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday we killed it. We were close to 4,000 people. Just on that day alone.
Oh wow! So just on that day alone.
Yeah. So we were almost.
I gotta go change my articles then.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that's cool. We did 5,700 people in total, over 6,000 if you count the exhibitors and employees and things of that nature. But I don't like to pad the number, so I just say 5,700.
Of course.
But yeah, 57 and some change, of course. But it definitely was an amazing time. We surpassed the 4,500 from the previous year. So as long as it's growing, I'm happy about it. I had nothing but positive energy and positive feedback from everybody. So, that's what's most important for me.
That's love, man. And congrats on the growth, because that's not an easy feat. I remember when we first met and we're talking the year before, you mentioned kind of bearing the majority of the weight, whether it's financial, whether it's workload and bandwidth. You were bearing most of that and feeling some pressure because the cannabis industry isn't tough. And Ohio, the legislation for adult use, they weren't making it very easy for people a couple years ago. And also the compliance and the rules for marketing made it a little tough for this year's show as well. So today, I want to talk a little bit about your background, kind of how you started the trade show. We'll talk about the 2023 show. That's where we first met and where I was an exhibitor there with my the old packaging partners that we had. But before we get into the history and the details of today's this last show earlier this month, I want to talk about you, Lenny. People don't know you, but everybody in Ohio knows you as the guy. They discover you're the man out there, and we want to know why. We want to know where did Lenny come from in this world of cannabis and culture and being a platform, bro? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, long and short, I'm born and raised here in Cleveland. So I am a true Clevelander. Been here my whole life, never left. I was in the music industry, started in 89. So telling my age a little bit, but working for Virgin Records at the time. So I was handling artists like the Rolling Stones and Tina Turner and Janet Jackson and Shaggy. So from there, I was a DJ on 2 radio stations here as well. Okay. So I was a mix show DJ. So I did that for 13 years.
What was the DJ name, man? What was the show name?
I went by Lenny B on the radio. Yeah, and my show was called Street Vibes.
Okay, I love that.
So we was killing it. Number one in the market for 10 years on WZAK. So shout out to the band from there, and I did 3 years on 107.9 here as WENZ. So that's kind of where my background came from. So, the weed culture's been my whole life for 30 years, basically. So I handle Snoop, I handle Wiz Khalifa, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Beyonce, you name it. So Craig and Biggie, Tupac, the whole nine.
You were around for a variety of musical generations throughout that duration of time.
Yep, 100%.
That's crazy, man.
So that's why I think, like with my kids too, we got that young swag about ourselves, right? Because we grew up in the hip hop culture. So a lot of people, I guess, think I'm a lot younger, like 30 something most of the time, because I normally don't have all this gray. I think I got most. from the conference actually, but no, I'm just joking.
Wow, this is the business Lenny right here, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
So no,
2025. Hey, we taking sponsorships now. 2025 Lenny right now.
exactly. Hey, by the way, I've already started selling, so I didn't slow down. Might as well keep the momentum going. A lot of my sponsors are coming back, so I'm really grateful for the team here per se of people, the ambassadors as I call it for the industry. Getting my back and supporting me this year and every year that I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So
I
it's been
want to touch on the growth. I want to touch on 2023. I want to touch on 2024 and then end on the plans for 2025 if that's okay.
sure. Yep. So
We met
23. Yeah, go ahead.
we met in 23. We had a booth out there. It wasn't a Respect My Region booth. It was a packaging company that did our packaging, right?
Right.
And you said you had about 4,000 or so people there in 2023.
Correct.
I remember when I close my eyes and I go back and I put myself at that booth and then I put myself into 2024 situation, it felt like you had twice as many booths.
Yeah. So first year, I think we were right at about 110, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I think we were at maybe 160.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it
So,
was, yeah, it felt like because the hall space was a lot bigger too, from
mhm.
when you got there the first time.
It clearly felt like there was growth, like there was like this wave had been created and people were starting to ride it and get on it and help build it into something bigger. And as I said earlier and alluded to, Ohio is gaining traction at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
There's now that it is adult use, now that there are dispensaries and brands and all that stuff is coming online, and now there's more people coming online, we're gonna start seeing that really ramp up. You think about 2024 versus 2023, what do you feel was some of the key valuables that people got out of being a part of this trade show versus the one before?
I think two things. The exhibitors elevated, and so did the speakers. I had great speakers, in my opinion, the whole time, but and I just felt like a lot of the industry maybe had been watching, just to kind of see where it would go, right? So some speakers you had to kind of ask a lot. Some speakers you didn't. They just kind of saw the vision or saw the opportunity and just gravitated to it. So I was grateful for that as well. Like it's really been a good time, and I met most of the speakers on LinkedIn. I just remember going to MJ BizCon, and I was out there passing out business cards, just kind of letting people know about the conference. And some of it just kind of fell on deaf ears, like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. And then the following year when I met you, it kind of like started to circulate, I feel, through the industry, that I wasn't just doing a pop-up event, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
really trying to do something nice for home, just because I wanted something nice for our city and our state. But also too that I was really kind of curating the conversations, trying to make this something really nice for people to come to and get an ROI from it, not, dollar wise and also relationship wise too.
Absolutely. I think one thing that I noticed about this particular show was the variety of vertical operators in attendance. You
Mm-hmm.
had a larger number of brands that stores, portfolio of products and brands, um, and they were like their leadership was walking around. It felt like it was a buyers and brands trade show with multiple teams and departments walking around. Um, and I didn't get that vibe from before because I don't think there was that system in place for vertical operators previously. Now that it's adult use, they were there. The people that
Yeah.
work for those companies were there.
Yes, we had a lot of CEOs. We had a few the year you were there, but we had a lot of them this year. And there'll be a lot next year because they did the same thing, right? They wanted to come and see what it was about. So believe it or not, there's a lot of, interstate license holders that have never been to the event.
Mm-hmm.
So this year was their first time actually coming out to see it. And I won't put nobody on the spot, but I had a guy apologize. One of the CEOs apologized to me because he basically just told me flat out he just thought the event was no good. Never been, but because of things that's, I guess in the market, you kind of used to just seeing regular, um, you know, pop-up events, if you will, and not
Sessions,
yeah.
pop-ups. Some
And he,
trade shows don't do so well and burn a reputation.
well, a lot of people didn't know the venue, right? Even
Mhm.
though it's probably the most iconic venue as far as trade shows are concerned in Ohio. They
Mhm.
had never been to the space. So when they pulled up and they saw the venue, and the magnitude of what it was, I think a lot of them were shocked when they walked through the doors to see, that we actually had a real trade show there. And then I got a lot of feedback from our peers that a lot of us was in the building, so it wasn't like just regular general consumers. It was a lot of industry professionals there,
Yeah.
and that came from all over. So this year was our first time having an international vendor. So we got some international vendors that was cool, and I'm starting to get a lot of emails from overseas as well about coming for next year too.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Keep that momentum going, Lenny. That's great, right? Ohio is such an important state in the world, in the realm of the American economy in a lot of ways. It's important in the realm of politics, and it's going to play a large role in the realm of cannabis, right? From a distribution standpoint, when it goes federal, from an importing exporting standpoint, because of its history with Cleveland as an importing exporting area there with the Great Lakes. It's an important area at the end of the day. You've got major, massive universities there. Some of them have programs. You have the Cleveland. You work with the Cleveland School of Cannabis. They have a booth at your event. I've seen them there a couple years now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're full on providing a platform and a plethora of resources for not just Ohio, not just Cleveland, but for cannabis people to learn, grow, get a job, make a connection, build their business. It's truly a valuable event, and I really can't say enough about how much work you put into it. Seeing you run around, you're hospitable. You don't ever look like you're panicking, bro. You always are just like, oh, yep, okay, cool, yeah. This person's over here, I got you, yeah. And then you walk people to things too, which is crazy. So it's like you just are you're a rare breed when it comes to humans, and even rarer in this world of hospitality, cannabis, and events. And so I just appreciate what you're bringing to the table here. Um, Hey
Thank
man,
you.
everybody watching, yo, this is Lenny Berry. This is the Ohio Health Cannabis Health Business Summit, man. You guys better tap in. Now, I want to show love to some of your vendors, Lenny. I know you mentioned you had over 160 on this go, but if you could name some of the people that you really enjoyed working with, or some of your favorites, it could be big spenders. We don't care, but can you just show some love to the people that helped bring this to life? Because when I walked through there, the energy was high. The
Yeah. No.
experience was great.
Yeah. No. Well, so it's mainly just me. So I sold the whole show. So, I mean, I don't have a team. I guess a lot of people know that now. But so that's why I ended up getting Cassie to help me out. So Cassie, has been a force to be reckoned with for CBT, Cannabis Business Times. She's from Ohio. So, wasn't any holding hands to try to get her on board to help out. So she played a major part with me with the social media content, and also helping me get the schedule together. Shaping the words and terminology of what people were going to talk about.
Mhm.
Alan and Christine, and then my wife and daughter helped out. So you might have met my mom. She was here working the downstairs. So it's really a family thing. So when you say hospitality, my mom is from the South. I think I just picked it up from her. She's just like, it
Well, if
don't
she's
matter.
involved, then naturally you probably leveled up to where she's at, just being around her energy and having that be involved in the business a little bit more. Moms have that ability.
Yeah, yeah, but she's just that type of person. So I've always grown up to be that way. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but you just gotta invite the people and make them feel at home. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But my title sponsor for the first year was Dayark. They're a consulting company from Marietta, Ohio. And you might have saw his booth with the big TV, and
Mhm.
he's doing like this geothermal lighting system that's really crazy, man. So I was very impressed by that. Then you have Innovative Healing Solutions, who was next to him. You had Ascension, who was next to IHS, and then you had Clutch that were behind them, and the HBK. So those were all my big sponsors for this year, and they've been consistently there for me. Then you had the Buckeye Reliefs. you had Good River, not Good River, Back Road Wellness, Timeless, Navarre. I could just go on and on as far as my gold sponsors. Super Good. I had King City Gardens there this year. So a lot of sponsors, man. Air Wellness, AYR.
Yeah.
They were there.
The homies in my world, like the ones that I talked about on my article, I like Wanna. The homies
Yep.
from Vert were there, which was cool to see their more efficient packaging ecosystem and software there. Benaleaves, big fan of the Benaleaves fam. My guy
Yep.
Broderick over there.
Yep. Let me see. Package My Good. Package My Bud was there. Label My Bud. Ryan. We also had. Oh, I'm just trying to think of.
Organic garments with the pineapple shoes.
Yes, love them, love them, love them.
Yeah, that's
And
just tight.
they're from Columbus too, right? So I think a lot of our conference has been integrating Ohio with everyone else. So
Mm-hmm.
when you see the panels, a lot of the panel discussions were industry titans with a sprinkle of Ohio people too. So, it's a chance to kind of mix both worlds, right? You get a chance to see what the industry's like as a whole, and then also us, touching base with Ohio too. So, yeah,
People don't know that Grove Bags, Jack Grove, Ohio, Grover,
100. So
right?
now when you talk about big sponsors, you had the Rock Hall, which you came to,
Come on,
which
man. That Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again, bro. Crazy, man. Shout out you for the drink tickets, the food. You had a line that was fucking long for 2 hours. And it's not because the line wasn't going through, it's because there was that many people.
Yeah, we had almost 900 people there for that
Let's
event.
go.
So yeah, you had Grove Bags, Canatro, again Timeless and Wana, Ethos. Some of the bigger sponsors over there too. So yeah, shout out to Jack and Lance. At Grove Bags, they came through big for me this year, and I just think a lot of people see what you saw, right? They saw last year, and they see I'm really genuinely about this, right? I'm not trying to take people's money, go off and tricking it and buying cars or houses and nothing like that. Everything that I get back from my sponsors goes right back into the show. And so this year we was able to do free parking. So I bought out the parking for everybody to park for free, which has never really been done
Yeah,
outside.
I guess I did notice that at the very beginning. That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, I wanted to do something very nice for everybody else across, flying in. And that's kind of what the Rock Hall was about. We're one of those cities that don't have a lot like Vegas and Florida and all that. So, I thought the only thing that I could do to just make it worthwhile was to rent out the Rock Hall because that's something that everybody has on the bucket list, I'm assuming.
Come on, man. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. You're telling me about a party. We had multiple DJs. We could go through the exhibit. I just said this on the podcast yesterday when I was recapping it with my guy Ian. Uh, I sat there for 50 minutes watching that Elvis exhibit all the way through.
Yeah,
I watched the whole man. It like just just absolutely incredible to be a part of that experience. Again, thank you for putting in all this work to be this platform, and big shout out to all the sponsors and brands and exhibitors. We mentioned Grove, I mentioned Vert, Benaleaves, Wana, Clutch, Ascension. You said Air. I think I saw GTI out there. You know,
yeah.
for
Ascend
better
well.
or for worse, man, Ohio came together in a big way.
Yeah. True Leave, Standard Wellness, Standard Farms. I mean, they were all there, man. So shout out to all of Ohio for, rallying behind me, rallying behind the event, and just making us look good, period.
Yeah.
Because without them, I like you said before, I had to put up this money and try to go get it. And they helped me, keep my sanity. The first year when you met me, I was pulling my hair out because I mean, I guess it was a little underwhelming from my perspective. When you think about how much money it took to do those big old events, man, it was a lot of money. So, family was a little nervous. My mom and my wife was like, what the heck are you doing? But, I believed in myself and I believed in the people here, that they would support. So I just went for it.
The Cleveland community, the state of Ohio really came together beautifully for that event. And big shout out to all the companies, the cannabis groups from around the country and around the world who also chose to be paying attention and who were on top of it enough to realize that this event was going to be a good one to bet on. Not all hands are worth betting on.
Right.
But this one was, and I called it, and I said it last year that this was going to be continue happening this way. And even though there's definitely still issues with compliance and marketing and products that are available and not, and Ohio's a unique place. That's all fine. Creativity and collaboration will get us through that. And you over here providing a community where those types of people can get together and problem solve like that is powerful. So big shout out to you. The speaking engagements, the panels, it's powerful. You're just trying to be a platform again and help connect people and solve problems and help them grow their businesses and get more revenue. And I applaud you for that, sir. Now I want to focus a little bit on the next year's show. We're less than 2 weeks since your last one.
Right.
Talk to the people about what's coming next.
Well, I had a lot of people. So this was kind of the debate. And I guess the only negative that I got back was my show didn't have the traditional lead generation, badges with everybody's name and QR code for you to scan.
The technology part of that.
Yeah, but if you looked at my event, my cost of the event is night and day to MJ BizCon or Benzinga or anything like that, right? So, I'm working on enhancing my experience for people, from the business.
What you mean by that is, and you know this, but your event is affordable.
Correct.
A little bit on the high side of not like high cost. It's on the high affordability. Like it's quite affordable, and that when you think about on a business on your side creates a little bit budgetary restrictions where maybe those kinds of technologies maybe aren't in the budget yet.
That's 100% it. My show to get in it was only $20 to get in there, or $25. Typical event is what, $100 to $1,000.
$79.99, $69.99, $99.99. I've seen them all.
Yeah. So I wanted everybody to be able to come. My packages for my sponsorships and exhibitor spaces are cheap too. But we're gonna get there. A lot of it was just proving myself to people. And I understood that I couldn't just come out asking for crazy amounts of money when nobody really knew me or knew what I could do.
Yeah.
But I'm still not in the space of trying to say, oh man, I'm about to raise it $10,000 and that like that. So I still want to keep the same framework, right? I still want to keep it affordable. I still want to get as many people as I could get to the event. Just because one, I think that the education piece of it is very important for everything, right? For us ending the stigma with this whole industry, getting people into the industry, understanding that it's a regular space, so having these conversations with the venues, Rock Hall and the IX Center that we were in, I had to get them comfortable enough to let me produce a cannabis event in these spaces to know that nobody's going to tear nothing up, right?
In a state where it's not even legal like that yet. Like medical people that don't do weed, they don't understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a big challenge, but good conversation though. But that's what I'm, I guess needing to have with everybody else, so we can get away from the negativity of the cannabis space, right? So I chose these venues not because I just thought, these is like, something that's going to make people go crazy. This was a place of comfort for a lot of folks because we're used to doing things in the hotel ballrooms or maybe bars, places that we could go to that, unfortunately that was all we had to go to. Like, so when I first started out, I couldn't get a venue to even look my way to let me have an event there. So I had to talk the hotel owner in 2019 into letting me have the event because he was new. He had just opened the hotel, and I went to him, just told him I could help you bring awareness to your hotel if you let me rent out the spaces here. And he did it. So that's what caught the attention of everybody else. So I was able to use that one platform and basically level up each year. But showing them that they could trust me with their brand, right? With their spaces, that I'm going to go through my people or the attendees to make sure, we're not going to be in there doing anything detrimental, not only for their sake, but for our sake too, right?
Yeah.
So the industry, we're all cool people, man, all laid back. It's no rah-rah activity at any of these events that I've ever heard of. So once they saw that and they felt the love from the people and how appreciative they were to be in those places, it made it easier the next year.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride to be here watching your growth and being a part of the event in our own way. This year we were able to do interviews at the trade show. I appreciate you letting us have access to be able to, amplify that. For those of you guys watching, I got at least 10 interviews of people that attended the event to
Thank
share their experience and their stories, and that's going to be a fun one here coming over the next few weeks. But kind of going back to what you guys have coming next year, you know, I would imagine same venue, but and probably a similar rock and roll party.
Yeah, same venue. I was debating about the Rock Hall, but again, there were so many people this year, obviously, right, that hadn't been there. So it's probably be the same way next year. So when you
Do
think
they do
about
they have more venues over there at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is there more spaces there?
no, so they're about to expand it. So it won't be done by next year, but the year after, they'll have a whole new exhibit spaces there too.
Dope.
So yeah, so they'll be adding some more stuff there. But I don't want to give everything away, but working on some good entertainment for the Rock Hall next year, and then
Nice.
also to from the speaker perspective, I think I leveled up a little bit this year, not only with the speakers but just the whole experience in that room. So I'm going to enhance that space too. Give people more opportunities to have like more intimate conversations with some of these experts after they get off stage. Like we had Bernie Kosar this year. Mayor Bibb came through, gave me a shout out, a testimonial of the event and its growth. So I'll start sharing some of that stuff on social media too.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, like you're using this word enhance, enhancing the value, enhancing various experiences that are a part of your trade show, which would be the speaking, the panels, those educational series, and then obviously the trade show, right? Which is the showroom floor experience, right? The after party, super dope. I'd love to be a part of, some of like some kind of mixer or something. I think there's opportunities to do some of those kinds of things. I'll chat your ear off about that here over the coming weeks. But man, I had a blast, bro. That was amazing. I literally I walked from my hotel, I walked from the show and went to the hotel, did my thing there for a sec, walked from the hotel, started going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was way early, right? And went past it and went down to a restaurant and I just sat down and I literally sat next to somebody at this restaurant that I've sold weed to the dispensary for years. The random person I sat next to at this restaurant. By
Yep.
himself, I'm by myself.
Wow.
And it's those kind of moments in my life that remind me that I'm on the right path because that's the world bringing me back together. No matter where I'm a stranger talking to another stranger. That continuously happens in places when I go places, and so I appreciate you creating the opportunity for those moments in the cheesiest of cheesy ways. Because I fucking love weed. I love the people in this industry, and I love these events and how they bring community together and the culture that surrounds these events. If you didn't do that party, if you didn't come from music and have the desire to do that party, that kind of stuff doesn't continue to happen in my life, and that's a fact. And so, big shout out to the hip hop heads, the DJs, my guy DJ Lenny B. You know what I'm saying? Throwing back to him, all of that, bro. I'm here for all that. Now, before we get you on out of here, do you want to let the people know anything else about the upcoming show, or how they can get a hold of you, or any of that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So next year's show will be October 3rd and the 4th. And if we do the Rock Hall event, it'll be the 3rd. So we're going to set that off, I guess, going out in style if that's going to be the last
Bruh,
event.
that is my birthday.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
That
Well,
August 3rd is my birthday.
look, October 3rd. October
Oh,
3rd.
October. Oh, so you got it coming up October 3rd. I thought you said August. Okay, that's my bad.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
August 3rd is my birthday. October 3rd, your show. So
Yes,
this show this year was the 5th and 6th or the 4th and 5th?
it was the 4th and 5th.
Was the 4th and 5th. So you're going to move it up just a little bit.
Yeah, well, every year it changes, right? So that's the first week of October.
Nice. I love it. I love it. It was super nice out there this year, man. The weather was perfect, man.
It was, yeah, because I was so worried about the line, as you said, for the rock hall. But when I went outside, like it was around the building, and I was just really like in awe. I didn't think it was that many people out there. I was like, we can get them in there. So as you saw, I was in there. Everybody sees me working. Like I don't
You
sit
were at
back.
the front the whole time. I didn't see you anywhere else. There at
Yeah,
the front at the booth, man.
yeah, I wanted to make sure the customer service was there, because you're paying for my time too, to make sure that you have an enjoyable experience, right? So whether you're at the Rock Hall or the IX Center, I was there too, working the front, making sure people got in, because you had a lot of people that showed up early to get into the first speaker session. So I wanted to get people in there and getting them moving around and making sure everybody was good. So
Yeah.
yeah, you will see me. Regardless of how big it gets, I'm always going to be around, shaking people's hands, saying what's up. Just
Yeah.
because I'm appreciative of you being here. I really am.
Come on, man. I don't know very many people that are that appreciative about things in life. And again, I watched you shake 900 hands when you walked in to when they were coming into your party.
Yeah,
Um, I stood there for at least 20 minutes physically watching you help people solving problems. I mentioned earlier you walked people to this or to this area or to show them something, and it's just like that level of customer service for most of these events. It's just unheard of. And so, to anybody watching this video that owns a cannabis company that has interest in being in Ohio, working in Ohio, selling to Ohio, building relationships, or just learning about cannabis, the Ohio Cannabis Health and Business Summit is the number one event in Ohio, for Ohio, by Ohio, from somebody from Cleveland. So
absolutely.
tap in. How
Yep.
can the
Check
people
out
get a
the
hold of you?
website.
What's your contact info, bro?
I was just about to say that our website is OCHBS.com. So you can see that on the hat, OCHBS.com. I mean, you can email me directly. My email is Lenny, Lenny at OCHBS.com. And hey, I look forward to helping you. Look forward to seeing you here. Look forward to shaking your hand. As you said, and some people got hugs and whatever. Like
Come on, man.
it's
Hey,
it's a family thing for me.
you know what? And I'll leave everybody here with this one. Buy the big booth. It's worth it. And we out. Come on, man. JayPing checking in. Respect my region, baby. OCHBS Ohio Cannabis Health Business Summit. Lenny Berry in the house, founder, CEO, the man, the myth, the living legend. I appreciate you for being on today's episode. For those of you guys watching, today was 112 official episodes
Congrats.
of the
Congrats.
RMR Podcast. We are showing love to Ohio. Ohio shows love to us. Thank you guys for
Absolutely.
watching. Talk some shit about